I'm glad that in a film like James Bond, who's like a big machine, with like of course amazing stunts and locations and gadgets and everything, you have that emotion.
I think with Madeline coming back for this film, it's so fantastic that we really get to see this character fleshed out in a way that I think within this franchise we usually don't see happen to characters beyond Bond. We really get to understand who she is, and I wondered if there was a specific aspect of her that you were most excited to explore in this film.
Yeah, it is this time very emotional.
Hmm.
A very emotional journey. I'm glad that in a film like James Bond, who's like a big machine, with like of course amazing stunts and locations and gadgets and everything, you have that emotion. And so for that reason, I'm very pleased.
Because there are so many great locations and gadgets and that sort of thing, I'm always curious what it's like for you as an actor to like walk into one of those sets. Like, is there a specific set or location this time around that just fully took your breath away?
Yeah, I mean, all the sets were amazing, and every time it was, I mean, I felt that I was on a James Bond set.
Yeah.
And that's also the exciting part of making this film. It is sometimes challenging, because obviously the technique is you know taking the advantage in a way that it's like
Mm.
you always have to find your freedom in a way in the
Mm.
technical aspects of the making of the directing and everything. So I was like I have to say that I was a bit nervous sometimes because I was like I hope that I hope the emotion
Mm.
will will be palpable, and I think that it worked, like really, like people were very moved by the film, and
Hmm.
it was our goal.
Now, since this is everyone has known that this is Daniel Craig's last time as Bond, what do you see his legacy being on the franchise?
I think he really changed the character who was a misogynist into a feminist, which is something very, very important. And he made just, he made all the characters more interesting, and he gave like a complexity, to the film. And they are not just like entertaining, they are like also beautifully shot, and now they have become like very interesting films, visually and also in the depth.
You were never on my side.